Misogyny poses a far greater threat. Analyst shreds Sophie Cunningham-fueled narrative that trans athletes are ready to descend upon the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham ignited a national debate following her July ESPN interview. Love her or hate her, Sophie Cunningham won't be ignored. The veteran voiced support for barring transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. The comments sparked intense, back-and-forth media coverage and debate over inclusion policies across the league. As the chatter continues to drag on, a Fox Sports NBA analyst stepped in to put the situation into a reality-based perspective, away from its manufactured narrative. Analyst Rick Booker debunks transgender narrative fueled by Sophie Cunningham. On the latest episode of his podcast, On the Ball, Rick Booker took a direct dig at the ongoing comments regarding transgender athletes taking over the WNBA. The veteran analyst disparaged the situation, highlighting that Lacia Clarendon, the only transgender athlete to have ever played in the WNBA's 30-year history, was a biological female at birth. It's just one problem with inflating the existence of a transgender player among the roughly 1,500 who have put on a WNBA uniform in its 30-year history. Lacia was born female, said Booker. Now, if anyone knows that there is a horde of transgender athletes who were born male and are ready to descend upon the WNBA, take up all the roster spots, and turn the W into a T, please let me know. Booker arguments stem from the misuse of historical numbers to fuel ongoing anxiety, and he asserts that there is no incoming wave of trans athletes born male taking over league spots. Citing NCAA data, Booker emphasized how rare transgender participation is compared to other, more pressing issues facing women's sports. There are 554,298 athletes participating in NCAA collegiate sports. Among them, only 10 identify as transgender. Not 10 in basketball, 10 out of 554,298, Booker added. There are 10 times more who will be found of sexual assault or misconduct. It would seem to me that misogyny is a much greater threat to girls and young women than how a handful of people define their sexual orientation. Earlier in August, the Indiana Fever Guard addressed the ongoing noise, telling ESPN that her focus remains strictly on the court. I'm going to let people just do the speaking for themselves, but for me, I want to get back to basketball, Cunningham said. It's always been about basketball. I just want to make sure that the focus stays where it should because people are playing at such a high level. While cultural debates often dominate sports commentary, the actual numbers might tell a much more grounded story than the created hype. With the regular season entering its last leg, Cunningham remains loyal to her team and the game, hoping to devote all her attention to guiding the playoff contending Fever into a deep postseason run.